Let's go ahead and check out this BMW specific scan tool from Foxwell. And I've already tested a BMW scan tool on this channel and it was not the greatest. It did okay reading fault codes in all of the modules and also looking at the live data. However, it had issues with the special functions. But I'm hoping this one is going to be a lot better. And full disclosure, guys, they did send me this to test out. However, I like to keep these reviews brutally honest. So here are the basic specs. It's an Android operating system, and it's kind of like a tablet-based scan tool. It's all touchscreen. It's the NT710. And as far as I know, you can do OBD2 stuff on any vehicles. You can pretty much do everything with BMWs, like all the bidirectional controls and special functions and even coding and stuff. But anyways, let's go ahead and open it up. Here inside, we have the tablet and we got the OBD connector that's separate, and also a USB-C cable for charging and connecting to your computer. And we also have the manual, and I really like how this comes with a case, so it just keeps everything together. But anyways, let's go ahead and try to power this on. I believe I already charged it, and it kind of just starts up like all these Android based scan tools. So it takes a little time to boot up, and we got a little disclaimer here. We'll just agree. And it looks like we need to make an account, so I'll go ahead and do that. But first we'll have to connect to Wi-Fi, so I'll do that. And now we are connected to Wi-Fi, and we'll go ahead and create that account. Click free registration. I'll just go through this and enter the information. So I made my account, and it has you send a verification code to your email, and that was in the spam folder, so if you don't find it, it might be in there. And I also registered the product serial number. It's got my account, that's just personal information, and then my products has the serial numbers, and then I feedback and suggestions if you have any issues. But we'll go back to home, and when you first get this, you may need to charge the battery. You can see we're at 96% because I already charged it, but we'll go ahead and plug it in, and you can see it's charging. And just like any of these scan tools, you're going to want to make sure everything's updated. So I'll click on update, and it looks like we get BMW, Mini, OBD2, and Rolls-Royce. And as far as I know, all of the BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce software has lifetime updates. You shouldn't have to pay for any upgrades or updates, so that's really good. But we'll go ahead and hit upgrade all. And this will probably take some time, so we'll just leave it and come back when it's done. So a couple of those updates were the actual system of the tablet, and it's just rebooting. Now everything is up to date. And this is pretty cool. You can actually roll back to a recent software if you wanted to, in case you're having some issues and you didn't before. I have not seen that on a scan tool yet. But anyways, let's go back home. So we have another page. We got firmware update. It says new, so I guess we'll update this as well. Oh, so this is the vehicle communication interface, and it's got a little emblem up there, and that's basically the part that communicates with the vehicle. But that looks like it's done, so click on exit, go back home. So back on the home screen, let's check out settings. Looks like we can change the unit. We're Imperial language, English, font size, so if it's hard to see, you can make that bigger. Then it has module sorting, so you can move around all of the shortcuts on the home screen. You can sort titles, remote control, and we have system settings. This is like the actual Android portion, just your basic stuff. General, and just some random stuff that prompts you. You can uninstall a vehicle software, clear app data, and we have print settings and about. Go back home, and apparently this has a remote control feature. So if someone hooked this up to a vehicle, someone could control it remotely. That's kind of interesting, but I probably won't be using that. And we'll go to the second page, check out VCI Manager. Unbind a VCI dongle. I'm almost wondering if you can get a Bluetooth dongle to connect to this wirelessly, because it does have Bluetooth. And if we scroll down at the top, and then again, we have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, battery save, screenshot, and restart app. And we also have the sound level and the brightness, a little settings button that takes you back. And I believe we do not have screen recording. We can just screenshot stuff. But that's not really a big deal on these tools. I only like that so I can make these videos a little bit nicer for you guys, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to do that. And then we have coverage list, and I guess you can just look up all of the vehicles, years and stuff that are covered. Shop manager, so I guess you can look up, you know, vehicle history on cars that you've done diagnostic stuff on before. Workshop, I guess you can put all your workshop info in there, and I guess you can add a customer. Interesting. We can go to shopping, and apparently you can buy other vehicle software as well, like Toyota, you know, pretty much everything. I don't know what Tata is, but it's $8,000. That's crazy. But let's go back home and auxiliary tools, file browser, and I guess this is where you can mess around with all your files. And it looks like my screenshot was saved in here, and I can delete it, and we'll go back. But that's all the basic stuff before we get started. Now let's go ahead and plug the cord in and hook it up to a vehicle. To start out, let's just check out the OBD2 functions on this Toyota just to make sure it works. Plug it in, but we'll click on OBD2 and check this out. We can do auto scan, or we can actually just go in and choose the protocol. That's pretty neat. I haven't seen that on many OBD2 scanners, but we'll just hit auto scan, and key's gotta be on, engine off, and it's just gonna go through and scan all of the protocols. And it looks like it found the one, and it brings up kind of the overview screen. Mil status is on because I created a little fault. Got 2 fault codes, not applicable monitors, and monitors okay, and monitors incomplete. And I guess you can hit save or okay. Hit save. No, I guess you can print it or save an email or just save. But anyways, let's hit okay, and we'll do number 1, diagnostic trouble codes. And I basically just disconnected the mass airflow sensor and try to start it, and the air intake temperature is part of that. So if we click on the different ones, oh, it's cool. It tells you if there's a freeze frame data for the code, and we only got 1 freeze frame data, but we can click on that freeze frame down below. I like how it has a little snowflake to tell you if there's freeze frame for it. And here's all our freeze frame data: 40 degrees Fahrenheit, coolant temperature, RPM, when it happened, all that good stuff. We'll go back. Also note that it's got our battery voltage right there. We're at 12.2 volts. That's nice to have that up on the screen there. But it looks like we can click on a code, and it basically does a internet search. However, I'm not connected to Wi-Fi right now, but it's basically just typing that code into a search engine. Nothing fancy. You could always just do it from your phone, and of course you could save that, kind of like we did before. It gives you some options, gives you help. So when you hit the help button, it kind of gives you some basic information about it, even though we're not connected to the internet. Click OK. So if we go to that one, help, it gives you information for that code. But anyways, we'll go ahead and reconnect the mass airflow sensor and make sure the key is on, engine off. So it looks like we can erase fault codes right from the screen. They will be cleared. Click yes. It took a little bit of time, but erase is done. System passed. No fault found. Oh, that's kind of cool. Brings us back to the main screen. Next, let's click on IM readiness, and we just cleared the fault codes, so some of the stuff is going to be incomplete. And you can see the mil status is off. Some of the monitors are okay, and some are incomplete or not applicable. Pretty simple. We'll go back, And we'll do live data in just a second, but let's try Sonda Lambda monitor. I think this is basically your O2 sensor stuff. So I'm not really knowledgeable about this section as much, but let's check out onboard monitor. Oh, and it has us select the manufacturer. It's kind of nice. Click on the first one. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure about this section of OBD2. I really need to look into it. I say that every time I do one of these videos, but it seems to be somewhat working. Component test. This is a 99, so some of the OBD stuff doesn't work as well as like the newer vehicles. Not supported by the modules. It's to be expected on an older vehicle. Key on, engine off. Vehicle information. And not supported by the modules. Vehicle status. Let's see that. Oh, and this is basically that first menu that was brought up. DTC query. Please enter the fault code. Oh, I guess you can just look up a fault code. Try P0100. And yep, it just tells you what fault code that is. Anyways, let's check out live data. And for this, we'll go ahead and start it up. And we can select all data or custom list. And I guess the custom list is if you just want a couple things, like we'll do engine RPM, long-term fuel trim bank 1, and short-term. Click OK, and it just gives us those couple things. But anyways, let's go back, and we'll just do all data. So far, this is a lot different than the other scan tools. And here on the side, we have text, and that's the one we're on now. Let's check out graph. Oh, that's number of diagnostic trouble codes. Oh, that's cool. So we can just select like engine RPM. Ooh, I really like this graph. This is nicer than a lot of other ones I've used. Give some revs. Ooh, that responds very quickly. I like that. Here on the bottom, we have some different options. Let's try multi-graphs. Oh, that is so cool. We can bring up multiple graphs together. We'll do long-term fuel trim bank 1, engine RPM. That is super neat. So I'll give it another rev. And you can see my long-term fuel trim goes up. I mean, it's really not that high. It's only 0.81. But that is super neat. I like how fast this is. I'm quite impressed so far. But anyways, let's do merge graph. See what that's about. Oh, I guess we can bring up 4 things on one graph. So engine coolant temperature, engine RPM, air intake temperature, and calculate a load value. So that's pretty nice. So I like how fast everything's responding. But we'll give it some revs. So I guess blue is the engine coolant temperature, and it has the actual number right there below each one, which is kind of nice. And it's got a nice little scale on the sides, so you can line everything up. Let's check out history. Oh, so I guess you can look back at your history right from this page, which is pretty nice. And I guess we can record. Hit stop. Hit OK. And then let's check out what we just recorded in the history. So that's pretty cool. Basically it records like a video, and I guess that records everything is what it seemed like. So it looks like we can hit pause, like if we want to check something out, and then you can make a screenshot. Batch top, what does that mean? Oh, I guess you can change Oh, so that just puts like certain ones at the top. See how fast it reacts with all the data PIDs. It's a little bit of lag, but not bad. So what is this up here? Learn idle? Compare idle. So I kind of have to look into what this is. You can learn idle, acceleration, decel, part load, heavy load. Interesting. Yeah, I have to look into that, but yeah, I am super happy with the graphing on this tool. It's definitely the nicest graphing I've had on any one of these tools so far. But anyways, let's go back, and that's pretty much everything on OBD2. So really quick before we move to the BMW, I just want to test OBD2 on my van because I had a problem with the last scanner that I reviewed. It would not connect to this van, even though it is OBD2, and I had no problem connecting to a different OBD reader. And it looks like it has worked. All the monitors are okay. Live data real quick, even though it's not running. I'm not going to start it up. And it looks like everything's working. I do like how the OBD on this is fairly quick. Let's go ahead and test this tool out on my BMW. This is a 2007 525. It's a E60. We'll go ahead and plug it in. We'll do key on, engine off. Go to diagnostic, BMW, and we can do a manual selection or scan the VIN. Let's see what's under manual selection. So we would just build the series right there, but we'll just do the VIN scan and see if that works. And it does. We'll click OK. Comes up with all the information. Click yes. All these tools will take a little bit of time. So yeah, I think it's doing a whole system scan, which does take a bit of time even with the OEM diagnostic software. So that took a few minutes, but let's go ahead and start with diagnose. And looks like you can do a quick scan or read individual control modules. Let's do a quick scan. And it's probably best to connect a battery charger if you can when you're doing this with the engine off. So right now we're at 11.9 volts. This battery is probably going to need a replacement soon. So it's finished up and we can look at all the faults. The one on the SZM, steering column module, position data initialized. It might have something to do with how old my battery is. Here on the IHKA, which is the HVAC system, we have the AUC sensor. Those go bad on pretty much all of these BMWs, like E60s, E90s, stuff like that. And also the fogging sensor seems to go bad, but either of those really matter that much, honestly. Temperature control knob right. Interesting. This is not present. And just like a lot of these kind of luxury cars that have all these modules, they always have faults in them, even brand new ones. And they don't necessarily mean you have a problem, but it really helps when you do have a problem to look at the faults. But we can just go through, look at all our faults. Let's see if we click on a module. Can we go into it? Oh, it looks like we can. So we're in the light module, read codes. I don't think we had any. Oh yeah, we did. Reversing light faulty. That's right. My reverse light is out. But here on the check control messages, right backup lamp malfunction. Oh yeah, so help and freeze frame data is kind of blocked out. We can go to save. Basically saves all the information with the fault code. But anyways, let's go back. But we can also look at the ECU information. Could come in handy. Clear codes. We try live data. Do hazard lights and reversing light switch. Click OK. And so hazard lights says it's off. Let's turn them on. See, if I hold it down, it'll say on. But as soon as I let it up, it says off. Stuff like this is handy if you're trying to diagnose something. Like say your reversing lights aren't coming on, you can see if the switch is working or not. But we put it in reverse and it says
that it's on. And then also the brake light switch, if I hold the brake, it turns on. Pretty handy stuff. You can look at all of the interesting data like that. But let's go back and let's try active test. Lighting rear, and we'll do the reversing lights since one of them isn't working. And it's activated for 15 seconds, so we'll click on that and hit activate. Let's see if they turned on. And they are on. You can see my right one is broken. And it should go out after a little bit of time. It said 15 seconds. Oh, yep, there it goes. Seems to work, no problem. Try lights front, fog lights. Hit activate. And those have turned on. And they'll probably turn off after another 15 seconds. Yep, they just turned off. Go back, and it's got activation tests for pretty much everything, but that all seems to be working. So let's go back. Make sure you want to exit. Yep. And then we'll just go to the control modules, and it's got drive, chassis, or body, and we can just, select each one, and it brings up the modules for, say, the drive. We'll click on the DME, which is the engine computer. Let's go ahead and start it up. And then just like before, it has all the options. We can read codes. I don't think the DME had any codes. Yep, no faults found. But let's look at the live data since we have it running. You can look at the Valvetronic, centric shaft actual angle and specified angle. Click OK. And it's got our values there. And the unit is in degrees. Pretty cool. And of course we can graph those. Let's click on multi-graphs. And that brings up the two. Yeah, specified and actual. Let's rev it up and see if anything changes. Okay. Pretty neat, if you ask me. And you can also merge the graph, so you have it all on one. Super cool. Looks like it's responding to about what it should be. Of course, we can record or save, pause if we want to just look at it. But let's go back, and I guess we can check out the oxygen sensor control. Let's do bank 1, bank 2. There's a lot of different stuff on here. So we'll do before and after cat. That just gives us the voltage value. Pretty cool. You can graph those. Multi-graphs, and then we can select which one we want up here so we can compare them. We'll do bank 1 before cat and then bank 1 after cat. But anyways, let's go back. I mean, we could definitely look at everything, but it seems to be working just fine. Oh yeah, let's go to the EKPS, which is the fuel pump control module. Let's turn it off. Key on, engine off, more specifically. And then let's try the active test. Fuel pump, and we'll do the 120 liters an hour. Hit activate, and I heard it come on. It's making a buzzing noise, and we can deactivate it, and it stops immediately. And we also have fuel pump pressure regulation. We can reset the control unit. I'm not going to do that. But I like how fast this is. This is nice. But, oh yeah, we can look at the live data. Fuel pump. Okay. Well, maybe the engine needs to be running. Oh, let's just connect it. Interesting. Measured values. Current voltage to the fuel pump. Control values. Specified delivery rate. It's 75 liters an hour. See if it changes. Oh yeah, it changes when we rev it up. Pretty sweet. Graph. Nice. Anyways, let's go back. And we can look at the transmission control module. Read codes. I don't think we have any. Nope, no faults. That's good. Live data. Shifting, transmission. Actual gear. Okay. First gear. Let's try to put it in reverse. Oh, reverse gear. And see if we can go to at least second. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Let's see if we can go to third. I don't think it'll go past second unless you're moving. Let's go back. You can look at the converter lockup clutch, all kinds of stuff. But anyways, let's go back. Try chassis, steering column, active tests, horn. It's 4 seconds. I don't know. Oh, whatever. Let's try it. Hit deactivate. That works. Let's go to body. Oh, let's check out the ARS. Hold on. Let's go back further. Control modules. Oh yeah, let's do special functions. Let's see what's in here. All right, let's try the steering angle sensor relearn. I had another BMW scan tool that I tested out and it completely destroyed my steering angle sensor data. It put it at like some crazy value that was like some default, and it would not calibrate it correctly. I had to take it to work to fix it. Let's make sure this works. Sure to read the instructions. The steering angle must be calibrated after the following jobs. And we'll click yes. Click yes. And exactly set front wheels to straight ahead position. Setting by eye is efficient. That looks pretty good right there. So we'll click yes. Click yes. Comes up with a little fault there. And make sure to follow the instructions. Do ignition off for 10 seconds. All right, it's been 10 seconds. Then continue. And it should say 0, which it does. And if we move the steering wheel at all, it changes. And it looks like it worked. Let's go ahead and start the engine. And we don't have any faults for the steering, just that backup light. Continue. And it said 0 when we started. It was correctly performed. Yeah, I would say so. Click yes. And then we're back. And that worked just fine. Let's try to initialize the sunroof. Let's see if this works. Make sure to read everything. Yeah, you don't want to put your hand in there when it's initializing because it won't try and stop. It would not be good. We'll click yes. And it looks like it is working. I don't know why my phone doesn't like to focus. Alrighty. And it says once it's complete, check to make sure it's good. Looks good to me. Awesome. That worked just fine. And we can initialize the power windows also if we want it to. Put it in and take it out of transport mode. Do the transmission adaptation. That's great if you replace the solenoids or change the fluid. Odometer. What can we do with the odometer? Oh, that's kind of cool. It tells you the miles on it. Brake bleeding procedure. Key stuff. Mobilizer and key. Try that. Reset starter lock. Block and enable remote key. That's kind of cool. So I guess we have electric parking brake. I don't have an electric parking brake, but oh, it's got the ARS startup in here for some reason. Let's try that. Make sure that works. This is really cool. Ignition on, engine off. The hydraulic system needs to be depressurized. So make sure to follow the instructions if you want it to work properly. Do you want to start the job? We'll click yes. I don't want to move, so I don't mess up any of those sensors. We got a warning, but that's okay. So that should go away. Oh, it looks like the 0 points of the sensors was successfully completed. Internal reset, yes. So it can be started if there's no faults. Click yes. It says start the engine and bring to operating temperature. I've already been driving it, so It is thoroughly warmed up. All right, we'll put the window down because it's probably best to be outside of the vehicle when you do this. But we'll click yes. Hold on. All right, it gives you the warning message because after you click yes, it's gonna start rocking. Oh wait, asks you if you want to do it. Click yes, and it should start. Oh, there it goes. This is so cool. System was completed successfully. And we don't have any warning messages or anything, so that seems to be good. All right, service function finished. We can go back. And we can also do the battery registration. Ooh, we can even do battery programming. That's neat. But let's go back and check out advanced functions. So it's taking a little time. And it brought us to this menu. It's got coding and customization. Let's check out coding. So I guess you can code these modules. I don't know if I want to try that or not. Let's see, customization, warning some speed restriction reminders. Click OK. I've always wanted to have the little angel eyes on during the day. This angel eye function, daytime running lights, is inactive, so let's try that one. Or menu adjustable. Okay, make that active. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that you go into here and then choose an option, and then you have to go back out to coding and then code that module. So angel eye function, daytime running lights, it says inactive, but select it, try to make it active, and there's no OK to press. So I'm not sure why that is exactly, but let's go back to coding. And we'll try coding the lights module. Just try OK. And screw it. Turn off engine, turn on terminal 15. So click OK in the following test. Oh, it must exceed 13 volts. So I need a battery charger to be able to do this. And I have a small one, but I don't know if it... Actually, I have a 10 amp one I could probably use. Battery charger on here at 10 amps. It's chugging away. This connection's pretty toasty. But unfortunately, I can't get the voltage up high enough with that charger. These BMWs are just so power hungry. We're only at 11.9 volts still. So I would need a heavier duty. And I have all of the power consumers off as much as I really can. But yeah, we just can't get the voltage up high enough. It's only 12.1. It needs to be 13 or more. But that's not really a problem with this tool. But anyways, I have to say I am pretty darn impressed with this scan tool from Foxwell. And I like to keep these videos brutally honest. And if you've seen my review videos on scan tools before, you know that I will point out all the problems I find with them. However, this one I am actually pretty happy with. As far as OBD2 goes, it works just fine. I was able to connect to my van, unlike the one by Mookar. All of a sudden it wouldn't connect, and I've always had connection issues with both of the scan tools they sent me, but this one had no problem. And I like how you can manually select the protocol. So if you know which one, you can kind of make things a lot faster and just go right to it
it instead of having it scanned for the different protocols. I really like the graphing in the live data features on this tool. It's just really seamless. I like how you can pull up two graphs right next to each other or put them in a multi-graph. Graphing just seemed to work really smoothly and seamlessly. And where this tool really shines is with the full function capabilities on BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce, but everything seemed to work pretty well. The activation tests seemed to work. I could initialize the sunroof. The ARS startup procedure worked flawlessly. It was successful. I was able to calibrate my steering angle sensor properly. Yeah, really no problems with the special functions or the activation tests. The live data seems fine. Again, you can use like the same graphing functionality as you could with OBD2, and everything seems pretty fast. I don't really notice a whole lot of lag on this scan tool, and really I can't say a whole lot bad about it. It doesn't have screen recording like my Mucar scan tools, but honestly, most people really aren't going to need that. I mean, I guess it could be nice if you're trying to like record, but it's just really not that necessary probably for most people. And with this, you can take just still screenshots, which is really all you'd probably need. And also another thing is the time. I couldn't figure out how to change it to 12-hour. It's kind of stuck on 24-hour. I looked through all the settings and everything, and it just didn't seem like that was an option, but that's really not a big deal. I'm just kind of like nitpicking at this point. I would definitely recommend this tool if you're looking for a BMW specific scan tool that pretty much does everything. Unfortunately, I couldn't try out the coding features because I don't have a powerful enough battery charger. Maybe eventually, if I can find a better battery charger, I can test out the coding features, make sure those work as well, because it would be pretty cool to, you know, code different options in your BMW. But the really cool thing is it comes with all of the BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce software, free updates for life, which is pretty awesome. You don't have to pay to upgrade it, and you just buy the scan tool and you get it all for life. So that is really cool, especially if you're really into BMWs. And personally, I have worked for a BMW dealership for 12 years, and I am just now leaving, so it's going to be really cool to have my own BMW scan tool to be able to work on people's cars or my own car. So far, this has been the smoothest scan tool that I have used with the least amount of problems. But anyways, guys, I hope this video is helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Peace out.